Everybody, welcome to, with that being said, a Rue Fitness podcast. We have with us our very special doctor of physical therapy, Coach Jonathan Burke. Welcome. I almost had a crossover between my intro for Dad's Life and not it's Wednesday.
Yeah, I was waiting for it. I was waiting for the sarcasm, kind of fun, insulty entrance, and then that was very nice. I appreciate that.
Oh,
yeah, I'm glad to be here.
At least he didn't say doctor with a question mark at the end of it.
Yeah, kind of
that one time.
And he did kind of shrug his shoulder when he said doctor, but you couldn't. Well, maybe it's video, so you could see that if you watch the podcast.
So
he shrugged his shoulders.
Suggest going back and pausing, seeing if you can find the shrug.
I like it. We also have with us the Alvin Kamara of nutrition coaching, fitness, all this stuff. Miss Sarah Altabella.
Ooh, that's me.
And why did I switch it from Clyde Edwards-Helaire to Alvin Kamara? Because Alvin Kamara is a bad bitch, and you a bad bitch.
I mean, he did have a hat trick on Sunday.
You a bad bitch,
so.
Sarah.
I mean, I'm going to say this. He's the best in the league right now. That's quite the comparison, Sarah. That's great shoes to be in.
Thanks.
I like it.
Or is he in my shoes? I don't know.
We don't know.
We'll figure it out.
We don't know.
And I'm the mayor of Rouville, Bradley Schneller. It's great to have you here today.
Humble
Jonathan.
servant.
Yeah, I was waiting for the humble servant.
Humble servant of the podcast world. We're all in. So today, we're going to talk about something that normally no one speaks about. Go ahead.
Yeah, and if it is spoken about, it's geared a lot more towards women.
Right. So we've done a podcast on female body image. A lot of people talk about body dysmorphia geared towards women, but no one really talks about men and how we feel about our bodies and how we project certain actions based off of those feelings and how it might affect our lives. Like, people are just expected, or I guess men are just expected to hold that shit in.
Yeah, I mean, just like we had the episode talking about kind of femininity and women's bodies and the idea of masculine versus feminine. I think for the most part is seen as a female issue, in that if men are dealing with it, it's not something you speak about.
No, because it makes you super vulnerable.
And even,
no, I mean it's scary. When y'all asked me to do this, when you texted me, I was like, sure. And after I texted back, sure, I was like, can we curse on this?
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I had anxiety as soon as I texted back short, and I was like, holy shit, my mind went straight to childhood. I could think of a handful of instances, and I was like, oh, I mean, are we going to talk about that? And kind of where all that stems from? I mean, let's face it, I'm 40, and I'm still this dude living in a little fat kid's body.
So
that's how I think.
So the reason we chose Jonathan, myself, and even Sarah had some body issues in the past. So we talked about that on the last, the female body issue. It sounds like we're putting out a magazine. The Bodies Issue. We should do that.
Ooh, with plates and barbells.
Yes, covering the strategic parts. I'm in. But so we all struggled.
Shocker.
In the past. Stop. Okay. If you and I have, never mind. I was going to say more abs combined than a lot of people put together.
Okay, back to the topic at hand.
Yeah, anyway. So I had Jonathan on. I wanted to have Jonathan on because he was heavy set growing up.
It was termed husky.
Husky. I wore husky pants. Did you wear husky pants?
We had to shop at a special store to buy husky pants. My brother, skinny, slim fit, could buy his shit wherever we wanted. Oh, hey, Jonathan, we got to go here because they sell the husky sizes.
And we kind of talked about this before class, but there's things that happen as a kid that you don't take necessarily a lot of stock in, but as an adult, you realize how much it sticks with you. And if you have to make if there is a separate shopping trip, a big ordeal just for you, that stays with you for a long time.
What is your very first memory of being overweight or realizing you were overweight? Was it the husky pants or?
Well, husky pants plays a part, right? But then I mean, you just start to like think back, and I'm 40, and I don't even know why like all this stuff came to mind though. In kindergarten, and y'all are gonna laugh. For the Christmas play, guess who was fucking Santa Claus?
Did you
Yep.
didn't need a pillow?
No pillow needed, my man. No pillow needed. So like, how the fuck why should I remember that?
Right.
I was 5, right? And then I remember so husky pants all the way through. My mom, it's okay, you're just big boned. There's no fucking such thing as big boned. I'm none. It's not.
Let's limit the F-bombs a little bit. My mom is going to give me a count
Hey,
here.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry, Mom. There's no such thing as big bone.
I heard a joke the
Right.
other day. There's no such thing as big bone. You just got a lot of meat around that bone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who comes up with this stuff?
I don't know. I was labeled as big bone. I actually wasn't. I don't think I really became overweight till about 5th grade, 6th grade. I don't know what was the switch there. I was always an active kid. I played sports in elementary school. Man, I guess I just like, I do remember, and I've told this story before, like going to my grandfather's house in the morning before school because they lived right around the corner from St. Francis Xavier, and I would walk to school in the morning. Don't get too excited. It wasn't really fitness when you're walking 3 blocks, but nonetheless, I would walk to school. But I would go there, and my breakfast in the morning was either cinnamon rolls, 8 Oreo cookies and a glass of milk and a spoon, or Danish
Maybe you were
pastries.
Santa.
Danish pastries. And then I might have had coffee, and that coffee with it was, of course, like 3 spoons of sugar.
Yeah.
Emily asked me the other day what my favorite cereal was, and I had some really weird cereals like Rice Krispies. Like I loved Rice Krispies, but Rice Krispies is
Yeah.
a relatively healthy cereal.
But did
Yeah,
you
let me
dump like
back
a
on
bunch
it.
of sugar on top? Yes.
Yeah, I put the sugar all over it, man.
Did you eat
Like,
Frosted Flakes, then dump more
Yes.
sugar? Yes. Oh, dude.
Yeah. So like
God.
that's where it comes from, you
Yeah.
know? So, go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, like, so you have recognized all of this in hindsight, but when did y'all feel like maybe as an adult you were able to kind of put a label on these feelings and identify it for what it was, and maybe that this is body dysmorphia, not this is who I am?
All right. So, I mean, it goes back, and I've told this story before, and I'm kind of going to give like a couple of points. But I remember in 8th grade, it really struck me I was fat when the other kids called my girlfriend, who was pretty hot. I'm going to give a shout out, Wendy Accardo. If you're out there listening to this, you're probably not, I think. But she's pretty hot back in the day. Anyway.
Outkick the coverage.
I always outkick my coverage.
I like it.
Always
I like
outkick
it.
my coverage. Like, to me, if I wasn't outkicking my coverage, like, I wasn't even going to try.
I like it.
But anyway, we used to make out on the train tracks that cross Metairie Road right there by Carrollton and Metairie, you know, up in there. Papworth, all those streets by Norjo's. Anyway,
Next time
nonetheless.
you're driving.
so the kids used to call her love rolls because I had, what's it called?
Love handles?
Love handles. But I had all these fat rolls, and she loved my fat rolls because she was my girlfriend. So they used to call her love rolls.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kids are mean.
Kids are mean.
Holy shit.
8th grade, bro. 8th grade.
Wow.
And so, you know, it's like I don't really remember, honestly, in high school getting made fun of for being fat, which is kind of odd. Like, that's not a memory I have. I knew I was, but I didn't get made fun of. So shout out to Rummel, all the people that I went to school with. I don't remember it. So that's a good thing. But I knew I was, basically based off of that in 8th grade. And then going into college, like, it was always there. And I used to exercise. I used to go to the rec. I used to do all these things, and nothing changed. But I also remember doing all these things, then drinking a whole lot, you know, getting $15 worth of Taco Bell. $15 worth of Taco Bell, by the way, is probably like 5,000 calories. Okay.
Guilty as charged.
Yeah. And so, you know, it's just crazy. Like, I don't really remember anyone saying anything to me, but I had all these issues. I mean, all the way up until, like 3 or 4 years ago. They had
Do you
somebody.
still struggle with them?
Yes, and I'll get there. But they had someone. I owned Rue, okay, and I was here by myself when it was like a one-man show, and this guy came in to check us out, and I was squatting with my shirt off, and I was not overweight, but I don't look like I look now, okay, and I had my weight belt on. Well, anyone who ever knows, you put a weight belt on without a shirt, and you squeeze it tight to do a heavy squat. All kinds of stuff. Even me now, all kinds of stuff is hanging over everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
anyone looks awkward.
I had found out later that guy went to a hair salon, that someone overheard the conversation, and he left, never came back because the owner looked fat. And I remember that. That was like 4 or 5 years ago. Maybe a little bit longer. But, I mean, it was since I owned Rue, you know? And so I began this, like, search to finally get it. And, I mean, I'm there, you know? But it never goes away. Those thoughts never go away. And if I look at myself in the mirror, there are a million different things that I can pick apart because I spent so long in that state. It's never good enough. It's never good enough.
I don't think that ever changes, especially when it has been that way for so long. What you can do is recognize it and move past it faster.
Yeah, I mean,
and
I put up a front, and I mean, it's not like Emily always said that one of the things that attracted her to me was my self-confidence. Well, I wasn't confident. I just knew that I needed to be in order to, hook up with a girl or find a girl or date a girl, whatever. Like, I knew that I needed to exude confidence, but it was never fully there. It was it was a front.
Yeah.
Because I was always super self-conscious about myself. Like, if I put a shirt on, I used to wear, 2 undershirts to try to, keep my shit tight.
So think about this. Now, I still struggle with some of the same stuff you struggle with. But remember when you were, overweight? And we're talking, back in the day. I remember when I was overweight. And we're talking more like grammar school, middle school area before high school, even the start of high school, and being insecure. It was really important that every hair be in place on your head. It was important that your jeans were tight rolled and didn't come undone. It was important that everything in your appearance, like your outward appearance, like what you put on, was spot on, because inside you didn't exude the confidence to go out there and be like, I'm just rocking whatever. We give you crap about wearing scarves and tights and stuff like that, which I still don't do. But it's not because I just don't, I wouldn't feel comfortable wearing tights. Y'all know me enough. I have to feel really good about myself
To take your shirt off.
to take my shirt off and do a workout.
Jonathan's got a
And,
10-pack right now,
and
and all the oblique muscles.
I don't
just saw
necessarily
him
do
with his
that.
shirt off.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, but it's I always go back to being the little kid that was made fun of, that was husky, that at a birthday party in 3rd grade, it was a co-ed party at Don Carter's bowling alley in Kenner. A little skinny kid shoved a piece of cake in my face, and everybody went ecstatic, thought it was the best thing ever. I walked to the bathroom and cried and wiped the cake off my face. In hindsight, now I probably would have drug him out back and kicked the ever-living shit out of him. But as a heavy-set kid who was just fighting for approval, and the popular kid who was everybody's favorite and had the nickname of Wild Child and was skinny and everybody loved him, throws a pie or a cake in my face, and everybody thinks that's the funniest thing ever. You were the butt of the jokes there. And I don't know if it was because I was heavy, but that's what I think it was, because I was the heavy-set kid in that setting.
Yeah,
right?
I used to go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's exhausting. Of course you're gonna cry. You are spending that time and energy making sure that the things you feel like you can control are super in place. And then when something like that happens, whatever confidence you've put, like whatever face you've put on, it's gone. You know, it wears you out.
I used to shave my legs. I had earrings. I had 3 different colors in my hair. You know, I made sure that like I had all the cool threads, you know, because I needed to draw attention away from my body. But then other things make me feel good. So it's so funny you said that because I felt the exact fucking same way. All right. Like I had to spend $60 on a haircut every 2 weeks because it made me feel confident. You know, anything that I could do that would draw attention away from my body, I did. And what's funny is as I got older or got to where I am now, I don't do any of that shit because it doesn't matter. Like I feel awesome. So I don't care how much my haircut is. I don't, you know, like let's be real. I care how I look, right?
Right.
But it's not the same. You know, I stopped shaving my legs. I stopped doing this.
But you still struggle with when you look in the mirror.
When I look in the mirror, I judge the shit out of myself.
Yeah.
No one is a harsher critic to their body than me. And that is still to this day.
I get it.
You know, and I mean, my mother-in-law makes a joke, and it's a pretty funny joke, that I've never met a mirror that I didn't like.
I've heard that before.
But that's because I'm not doing what people think I am. People think I'm looking in the mirror and maybe checking myself out or admiring it.
In front of the mirror.
No, I am judging the shit out of myself in front of that mirror.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't stop. And it's still to this day. It is still till this day.
So, I mean, I'll be honest. I've seen, y'all know I don't work out unless I feel, like without a shirt on, unless I feel really good about myself. I'm jealous of the person that comes in here that isn't counting macros and watching what they eat and that is comfortable enough in their skin to take their shirt off and walk around and jump and hang from a bar and do whatever they want any time of the year. Like I do it now, but I feel like I have to be dialed in and I have to feel like I look the part.
It's funny. I don't know about y'all, but like, for example, they have like people of Walmart who are wearing things that none of us would ever wear.
Right.
Yet I would feel almost resentment. Like, how is this person so confident to not care? Like, I love the healthy body I have. I love what I do, but I don't want to care so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whew. Yeah. I mean, I would, even when I started to take my shirt off, because I mean, I've been taking my shirt off for probably since I started CrossFit, and because like that's the thing to do, right? And you might think I'm confident, but you know what I'm doing? I'm not. You won't see me sitting with my shirt off, or if I'm sitting back, right, to where I'm not hunched over. Now I don't give a shit. Like I'll hunch over. Like
so,
it doesn't matter.
When was the last time we did beach brawl? Like couple years ago.
Couple years ago.
So yeah. I had done beach brawl. I think I was the first ones that told y'all to be at beach brawl. So I had done it like 4 or 5 years prior. I've done beach brawl probably, I think 8 times. I've only felt, and this is in the sun at the beach. Everybody's got their shirt off. I've only felt comfortable enough in those 8 times to, I think, compete shirtless 1 or 2 times.
Yep.
In those times. I mean, beach runs, shirt. Burpees in the sand, shirt. Like just not, and I wasn't overweight, but I was like, nope, I'm not, I don't look like those people. Like, and in my head, it's like, I'm really heavy set compared to.
And look, I want to pause for a second and say, I know my mom's going to listen to this right now and she's going to beat herself up about this. And I'm telling you, don't beat yourself up about this. I am super proud of who I am today, and who I am today is because of you and Dad and how you raised me. So don't beat yourself up about that. I mean, you just didn't know. And not enough people know So,
Health and fitness wasn't what it is today back then.
no.
And you don't know how to talk about these things. We don't, as adults, we don't know how to broach this subject a lot. You especially don't know how to do it when you're 12, 13, 16, and you feel like you're the only one. When you feel alone, it doesn't matter what kind of support you actually have around you. You are already in that headspace. You don't know how to begin to bring it up.
And it kills me. It kills me. It kills me. It kills me to see 7-year-olds super husky or overweight, you know, like 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, you know, because they don't have a choice. They don't get to buy their food. They're not buying their food. And I would be willing to bet that a lot of parents don't know, and maybe some do know, but I can tell you this, like, and I'm going to say this, and I don't want anyone to get upset, but the laziness to just let your kids or you to go to Cane's all the time or McDonald's or whatever the fuck it is, okay, because your kid's pitching a fit because that's what they want. I want you to think about the consequences in the future that you're forging right now by not taking a stand and seeking out help on how to help your kid right now, because there's a whole fucking generation of overweight kids, and it's just getting a larger percent of the population, and these kids are fucked for their future. And it's going to take a long time for those kids to repair the damage that happens in those early years that they do not have control of. Sorry.
Well, yeah, and physical stuff aside, what about the mental and emotional stuff?
Yeah.
I think it's all tied in, right? So like you get these habits, and so I'll even like fast forward it to where we are now, guys, in the health and fitness world. So I have a lot of patients that come into my clinic that, you know, are essentially addicted to exercise, which leads to some injuries, and I have a hard time communicating with them because at one point they were heavy and may have felt like we feel. You know what I'm saying? And so they are so scared of stepping away from the gym just for a minute to let their body heal because they're going to lose all their
See
gains.
it every day here.
And
See it
they
every day here.
relate very much with us. Like, because I was the heavyset kid in grammar school or high school, Jonathan, and I didn't have any friends, and I didn't play sports, and I got made fun of. And now I'm in a good space where I'm like fit and I'm crushing workouts and I'm doing all these different cool stuff, and people don't look at me as that person. But like that is the biggest thing they're scared to go back to. And it's really hard. I mean, in essence, like, again, it's still an ongoing struggle. I think no matter what my fitness level will ever be, it is an ongoing struggle. Like, I'm very happy where I am now, but I know I'm not going to count macros for Thanksgiving. And I guarantee you over those 4 days, it's going to be a complete mind F of me because it's going to really do some things to my body because I've been eating rather clean and doing some different things. But I just want to kind of like take a break from it for a second. But at the same time, too, mentally, I don't know how I'm going to handle that.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people that struggle with weight growing up that do kind of break that label, the husky kid, the overweight kid, whatever it is, they break that. They're seen as fit. I would say 99% of us then develop disordered eating.
Oh, yeah.
And this disordered relationship with exercise and this absolute fear of going back to the way things were. I mean, this weekend, I ended up eating out way more than I usually do. And I have been in this long game, like this game long enough to
Right.
know that literally eating normally for like 5 days, I will 100% feel like myself again. But even today, it wasn't until after the workout was done where I was like, I noticed I kept my shirt on the whole time because I was not feeling like my leanest self.
Yeah, I don't know. I think what you went to, Bradley, with like looking in the mirror always being like our biggest like critic and always like tearing ourselves down. And like I don't think it just stops there. I mean, I think I do that in so many avenues of life, but I learned it from being the overweight kid.
And look, if we're being super honest like that, what happens there and like what you go through can create all kinds of ancillary problems that you wouldn't even think of. And, you know, for example, like as your body starts to change and you start looking differently and people might show you attention because of it, well, you start to crave that attention. Because guess what? You didn't have it for 20 something years. And it's like, oh shit, people are giving me compliments. Like, and now all of a sudden you start seeking compliments. That's a recipe for disaster. But it's like something that is unexpected, you know, or it might affect how you handle other people or, you know, your job or whatever. Like there's all kinds of mental side effects that this can cause. And honestly, like the best way to get through it is to be open, honest with someone about it. You know, if you're not doing nutrition coaching, I would say to seek nutrition coaching and try to get in touch with yourself, figure out what's going on there.
And that's honestly, that is where I think that what you just said, get in touch with yourself and figure out what's going on. Being in that process, and it's an ongoing process, is a very scary and uncomfortable place to be. You know, if you're seeking help with a nutrition coach or
therapy
or a therapy, it is an uncomfortable place to be, as far as like pointing out some things and making you think really long and hard about who you are and kind of like what you become. And that's like a scary thing. It's like, again, it goes back to like fronts and on the outside, like people could look and say they got it figured out.
And I know,
and most of us don't. Like, and that's honestly, that's okay. Like, it's okay not to have it all
and we're
figured
talking
out.
to you guys, like all the men out there, like it's okay to be vulnerable and let people in on this fear, because look, I'll say it. Like Jonathan and I look really freaking good right now. Okay, there's a reason we take a picture with our shirts off after endurance on Sunday.
Well, we're trying to up our Dad Life podcast.
Yeah, that we
Best
need.
part of my
followers.
week.
We need
Yeah.
the likes on Instagram to feed our egos because
Yes.
of this.
Yeah.
But I'm being sarcastic, but you know,
Kinda,
you get the
sorta.
picture. But anyway, I know there's other people out there that deal with this and feel this if we have. And here's where we are today. So tell a friend, let someone in, and let it out. Like that's the only way the healing process can begin.
I can look back at my time here at Rue and think of like a handful of male members that I would venture to say were feeling this way, didn't know how to make it better after starting CrossFit. Oh my gosh, it should change overnight. And then they just kind of disappeared because they didn't feel comfortable talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of interesting. I think we're all like after like our best physique and different things. And to be honest, like you can change your appearance, because I think Bradley and I go through this. You can change your appearance and look like really good. I'm not saying we do. I'm just saying you can, right? But if you still think of yourself as the fat kid in third grade who got a cake shoved in his face, it doesn't matter what you look like. Mm-hmm. And like that's something like when y'all asked about the podcast, I immediately went to that and been like, that really that stuck. Like, I mean, I'm 40. That's what were you, 9? That's 30 plus years ago. And I was like, that really stuck. That was a long walk to the bathroom while everybody was laughing, while I got a cake shoved in my face by this skinny little ass kid. And I remember the mom, telling my mom, Jonathan just handled it so graciously, and he was just
What are we supposed to do?
And yeah, right,
What are we supposed to do? All the other
know,
kids think it's funny. Fuck.
Right. All the other kids think that's funny. If that's happening to my son, I'm wanting him to pummel that kid right there in front of everybody. But that's just because that's pent up anger from me. I'm not saying that's the right thing to do, but it's like.
Why do you think my son takes jujitsu?
Yeah.
Cobra Kai forever.
Well, in hindsight, I'm listening to that and I'm pissed. This mom should have been like, this was not okay.
I don't know.
He kept it together.
Yeah.
Yeah. But here's the thing, when you're insecure like that, oftentimes you don't stick up for yourself in situations because you want to be liked and you want to be accepted and you don't want to rock the boat. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And that is a tough place to be.
So I don't know how many people know this, but in college, Jonathan did a bodybuilding competition, right?
Well, I did a before and after show. Or before and after competition. So the story, I dated this chick, yada yada yada. We broke up.
No, tell us the yada.
So I dated this chick. We broke up. I was brokenhearted. This will be funny. I watched the same movie in my frat house room forever, every day. I think it was Varsity Blues. Shocker, right? And then there's a Phil Collins song that I listen to every day. I forget what it was. Something about walking away or something like that. Every day. And then I was actually working at the Student Rec Center, and my boss there was like, oh, there's this Muscle and Fitness magazine. You should do this competition. So what'd
you look like at this point?
I was probably 185. I wasn't fat, but I didn't have abs. And then I went to 176 at 4% body fat and got tan.
He was shredded.
Got tan painted on me.
Can you find us the pictures?
Yeah, I can find.
When I saw this photo,
I was in a calendar. That was my claim to fame.
Jonathan, I thought it was your head on someone else's body, and not in
this pose and everything.
It was. It wasn't even I didn't think you were capable of looking that way. I was it was the pose. It just really threw me off. I was he wouldn't.
But
do
I
this.
dove into something to get my mind off of the breakup, and I went all in and worked out twice a day, and I ate 6 meals a day of the exact same thing.
How was your psyche
day.
through this? Did you picture your childhood? Do you remember that? Were you able to block it out? Did it fuel it? Talk to me.
I think it fueled it because once you started to see changes, and I was a high school athlete and I never had abs, and all of a sudden I'm starting to see some abs, I'm starting to see some definition, and I got hooked, and I was all in. I remember coming in for Mardi Gras that year, and everybody's drinking on the parade route. I'm in college. I'm drinking Diet Coke and eating tuna out the can. I was in it.
This is what I try to tell people is, and this is true, is as soon as you start seeing some really tangible results, it's easy to say no to a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
2 questions with that. When you were going through it, how were you feeling? Were you exhausted? And then looking back, once you hit that point, you saw those photos, was that enough? Was that good enough?
So it's kind of interesting. So yes, I was tired because I was on a strict schedule, but I was also living in the fraternity house where the parties didn't stop. I remember almost fighting a fraternity brother because they came into my room for an after party. I'm in bed, and they pulled out the grilled chicken that I prepared and started eating it, and I was pissed. So because you're already kind of you're in this state of not eating a shit ton of food, right? So you're hungry, and then any little thing towards that, the last 3 weeks, any little thing could get you to pop off, right?
Right.
And then was it enough? So I'm gonna say this: in that moment, It was awesome. The pictures were great. I was like, holy shit, look at that. From then, in 3 or 4 days, I went haywire because my diet was so strict for 8 weeks, and I gained like 20 pounds.
Wow.
Cookies, pizza, anything I want, beer.
It's like you
anything
reverted right back
Yep,
to...
boom, just everything, boom.
Now, where you are now from then, how much more sustainable do you feel now?
So here's the thing. Back then when I was doing that, I was working out. I did cardio in the morning, hungry before I did anything, before I ate, and I had a can of tuna fish for my last meal before 7 o'clock. I might not go to bed till midnight because of studying or whatever. Right. No beer, anything. Right now, I think I just did a scan today, and I'm a little bit under 8, but like
he's 7.9% body fat.
I drink beer most days of the week. Like, I've eaten ice cream. I work out no more than 5 days a week. Most times it's 4. Like, and that's not always.
And your workout sessions are like 20, 30
Well, it
minutes.
depends. One day is a 20-minute. One day could be a long run. One day could be a roux workout, or 2 roux workouts. 2 long runs or 2 runs.
The key here, though, is kind of you have a plan for your calories, how they should look, where they should go, that type of thing.
No, I mean, honestly, since I've done like the nutrition coaching with you, it's just been being more aware, right? So like before, I thought I was eating healthy, but I was eating a ton of fat. That's it. Like, made a couple of changes, and then over time, being consistent with those changes has really paid dividends.
And I want to constantly, whenever I say that a lot too. Like, I was eating so much fat, or you just said it, whoever. I want to remind people that fat is good. Fat fuels your brain. It fuels your hormones. Mm-hmm. It's amounts and proportions and how it's balanced out with everything else.
I will say too, you include your beer consumption. Like, it's not you're eating really healthy and then you can drink whatever because you're eating well.
No, it's calculated.
That's calculated into your intake. It's thought out. It's not just because.
I'm not saying you should drink beer every day, but I enjoy it. So, I don't know. I think my coach thinks, 2 to 3 days of non-drinking beer. I'm working on it.
The Burke household could definitely go to 2 to 3 nights.
Yeah, so
I'm down. How do you feel today?
So, I mean, just overall in general?
Comparatively speaking.
Like, overall, I feel good. But here's the thing. I can still look at myself in the mirror and see a ton of stuff that I don't like. And that I don't know if that'll ever change. Does that make sense?
I'll say this. I am getting better. I don't judge myself as harshly. And it switched a little bit to shit, like, all right, that looks better. Let me see where I can go from here, And it's funny, like I remember having a conversation maybe 9 months ago because I felt like I was pretty lean and I was doing all these right things and in my head. And someone told me, actually, this was during quarantine, and they said, the only way you're ever going to get rid of your love handles is micro...
whatever
liposuction, something liposuction. And I was like, fuck, are you serious? And I didn't think it could happen. I am telling you, the way I look now, I did not think was possible. I did not think I could achieve it. And so there is a little bit, and I mean like in the last month, where I do look in the mirror and I'm like, holy shit. This is amazing. Like, anything is possible with the right plan, the right nutrition coaching,
and working the plan. Like,
you got to work the plan. And you have to say yes to the plan. You have to say yes to yourself. You have to say yes to the plan. If you cannot do those things, you cannot, achieve what you want to accomplish.
And here's the thing: I think a lot of people don't realize is like, you yourself are you're worth it.
Yeah.
Like, you're worth the time and effort it takes to make you feel better about yourself, to give you some more confidence and more belief in yourself, to be better at whatever you want to be. Like, you're worth that time and effort.
It's also never too late.
No.
It's never too late. And if you're looking at reasons, well, you know, I'm this years old, whatever. I mean, do it for your kids, do it for your friends, do it for your family, do it for yourself.
No, I think it really only works if you do it for yourself. You can throw all these other like people in, and that's all said and great, but when it really comes down to it, it's got to be done for you. And people are like, oh, that's selfish. No. Your self-care and self-worth is not selfish, because once you can dive into that stuff and you gain some momentum, like, you can achieve anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like you said, when you start seeing and feeling those changes, you want to keep it going.
Right.
And remembering, especially for someone who's struggling with this, you are always going to be the last person to see it. You are living in this body day in and day out. And even if you are already confident in who you are, you're going to be the last one to see these things.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I love it, y'all.
Thanks for having me on. I was super anxious about this topic. I am glad we got to share it, because some of the stuff I said, I mean, I don't even know if I've told my wife about the pie in the face. You know what I'm saying? That's just something like, you feel like ashamed that even happened to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, you know? So.
Be vulnerable, y'all. Let us know. If you're looking for help, you can go to stackedcoaching.com. That's stackedcoaching.com. We do free nutrition consults. You can set up an appointment and see what we're all about. Make sure to check us out on Instagram. You can check out Rue_fitness. I forget.
Good job.
Shrug your shoulders.
Rue_fitness.
Make sure to leave us a 5-star review, a rating, and
Only nice words.
only nice words. Words count. And please share us with a friend. So we appreciate it. Y'all have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.